Hey, this is Moving to Kentucky with Matt Fouch, and we're showing you another great Kentucky property today here in central Kentucky, Columbia, Kentucky to be exact. 100 plus acres and over 2,000 square foot custom high-end home and tons of opportunity out here at this property. We got an old barn. We actually have a second house here on this property, and then of course, this beautiful creek bed. Y'all, thank you again for being here for this video. I'm standing here with Mitch. He is the current property owner of this beautiful 100-acre property with the house. We're gonna show you the house a little bit later, and we're gonna give Mitch a chance to talk about some of the unique details that they did with the home. But right now, we're gonna talk a little bit about this 100-acre property that they have. Now, let me highlight a couple things real quick. When you pull down this driveway, and when I came to meet y'all the first time, I pulled down the driveway and I thought, okay, I'm not going the right way. You pull through and drive through. The driveway goes through this old barn that we're standing in, and then you cross the creek bed, which is behind us over here, and then you make the small turn and you pull up to the house. That is awesome. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about this property, but there's so much more to it too. You guys got 100 acres here. Tell them a little bit about the acreage that you have.
Well, we have 106.
Yeah.
Think about the property, take the 106 acres, the front is really just about 3 acres. So we've got 2 acres in front of the barn, and then the house is sitting on about 1 acre by itself. The idea was that the front, we almost wanted it to feel more natural to what you would see in traditional Kentucky back in the early days.
Yeah.
The front of the barn, 2 acres, very tranquil. The back here, 1 acre, still very, very tranquil, but you do have to go across the barn and then through the creek. It's a hard bottom creek, so it's no different than driving on the interstate at the end of the day.
And it turned out great. And with the 106 acres,
right.
Thanks for the correction there. Tell the folks watching right here about the trails that y'all have throughout the acreage.
Well, and that was actually something else we tried to plan. We didn't want somebody to come and look at the property and see like Polaris or motorcycle tracks, and even on the trails we have horses. So we didn't want you to just to see trails all over and just kind of take away that tranquility view. The only trail that you'll actually see is on the back of the house. There's a trail that goes up the hill, which the trails are really, you can use motorcycle, horses. I walk them every day with the dog, but there's, I would say between 4 to 5 miles of trails.
Nice.
There's an outer trail that will go the entire 106 acres. The trails are a combination of the trails and the creeks. The creeks play a strategic part of the trails themselves. To get to the main trails, you actually go a little bit up the creek, cut into the trails, and then you can decide whether you wanted to start on the perimeter trails, which again goes all the way around the property, and it goes from one creek all the way around to another creek. There's 2 main creeks to the property, and then there's some other creeks that you can kind of walk and meander up.
What I love about what you and your wife have done here at this property is pride of ownership. You guys have taken great care of the 106 acres. You've done it in a way for personal enjoyment.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's going to come across to the next owner, where they're going to come into this property and they're going to see all the care and love that you put into not only the house, but also the property. And they're going to get to enjoy it right away.
Yeah, thank you. The walkers who were on the farm next to me, they made me laugh one day. They had their horses out on the property, and they came back, and I said, well, how was it? Because again, you always want somebody to enjoy it, and they said it's better than a state park. So that made me feel good.
There you go. So you're not buying a state park, but something better than a state park.
Absolutely.
With this property. We're thrilled to show it to you today. Thanks for being with us. All right, y'all, you have seen the intro coming up to the house here at this property. And now we're sitting on the back deck area before we take you inside to see all of the beautiful features, the updates, the upgrades inside of this custom built home. Covered back deck area, enclosed. Mitch and I have been sitting here talking about the property, and what I wanted was for him to share with you all of the custom upgrades and features, because I know you guys have lovingly put a lot of heart and effort into this home, and it's extremely custom. And that's what I think so many people are going to love about this home, and I want you to share with them all of those upgrades that y'all did on this house when you built it?
Oh, wow. Well, let's first give credit to my brother-in-law, who actually was the architect of the home. We spent, oh boy, probably 6 months to a year just on the design. We had a couple things in mind. We wanted somewhat of an industrial ranch. We wanted everything to have a view. And he did an excellent job. In fact, he even thought of things like when you would walk out of a room into the hallway, there would be a window that would be perfectly positioned at each one of the doors, and you always had a view of the exterior of the property. When we started on the property, we did everything from the perspective of industrial grade. And what I mean by that, the entire exterior of the house is not 2x4 construction. It's all 2x6 construction, which once we did that, that led into some other things that we were able to do, like spray foam insulation. It just added an insulation barrier, which frankly, being in the woods, you didn't need an insulation barrier, but it was something that we decided to do anyway. But it just really allowed us to control the temperature of the house.
Right.
And I think in this house, we're in the $200 range on a utility bill. So spray foam insulation really made a big difference. And our spray foam insulation just isn't in the exterior walls, but it's up in the attic. It's in the crawl space. We did a 3-foot crawl space under the house. Other things that we tried to do in the property, we tried to go with very clean lines in the property.
And you definitely accomplished that.
Yeah. Marvin did all the windows. I was talking to the Marvin rep when they came out. We actually had Marvin come out and do a lot of the installation of the windows. The contractor looked at it and looked at the complexity of the windows. And so we were able to work with Marvin, and Marvin came in and did the installation of those. But when I was talking to the Marvin gentleman, he said he was giving me a number like an average house that they do has X amount of doors and X amount of windows. We completely exceeded that.
Right. And that gives you so much natural lighting too in the house.
Very much so. And because we're somewhat back away from everything, if you've noticed, there are no drapes or anything on any of the windows. Everything is just wide open.
Completely private back here.
Yeah. So unfortunately right now, around 5:30 in the morning when the sun starts to come up, you get up a little bit earlier now, but there's nothing like, just looking at nature and being outside from this perspective.
That's right. That's right. Now the kitchen, when I was talking with your wife about it, she mentioned several of the really nice upgrades that y'all did in the kitchen. And I know a lot of the women watching, that's going to be a big thing for them.
Well, and when we worked with the architect, we somewhat break the house into 3 sections. So the first section is kitchen and living area. And then the next area was somewhat broken into laundry room, guest bedroom. And then the third area of the house is really kind of the master suite. And if you notice, you've got a long hallway that walks you down the master suite. We really wanted the house to be broad and long, and the reason why is, and with the insulation that we did and other things inside the house, if you stand on this end, you will never hear anything on the other end of the house, and it's very quiet from that perspective. But so on this third of the section, we actually ended up flipping the house.
Okay.
The kitchen and everything was supposed to be on the other end. The house actually faces north. This is the east side that we're on now, so Kim really wanted the kitchen to be on the east side. Sun comes up, it comes into the house that way, sun sets on the bedroom side. Right. So we ended up flipping the property from that perspective, but Kim had some real design goals that she wanted inside the house. We wanted it to kept very light and airy, but when we first talked about moving to Kentucky, Kim was thinking that we were going to move like, oh my God, we're not going to be near a grocery store within an hour or two.
Right.
Mostly, I mean, from where we're at, I can get to a grocery store in 15 minutes.
Right, right.
So Kim wanted a massive pantry put inside the house with another freezer, refrigerator unit. We have a normal built-in refrigerator freezer right inside the house.
Now, but it's not just normal. It's a big upgraded one.
It
right?
was an upgrade. Kim loves to cook. She's a great cook, and if it's going to be on video, she's an absolutely incredible cook.
You think she'll watch this?
Yeah, I'm sure she will. We went with a company called Fisher and Paykel. We've bought products from them before. They were the very first company to come out with a dishwasher drawer. So Fisher and Paykel did our refrigerator and the induction range. We went with Bosch for the dishwasher because Kim wanted the most quiet dishwasher you can get.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it's running. Other than when you look down, you can see it running. That's really it for that. Bosch also did the microwave drawer. So you have a microwave drawer that opens up and for your microwave use there. We worked with a local company in Bowling Green. I would refer to them really as almost like a cabinet artisan. They just did an incredible job. We met with them, oh boy. I bet you we went over about a 3-month planning section with them, and we talked about traffic patterns, how Kim cooks, how to set everything up, and they just did an incredible job when they built all the cabinetry for the house. And they did all the cabinetry for the bathrooms, laundry room, as well as the kitchen.
Well, yeah, and that's what one of the nice things about it is the vanities, the cabinets in the kitchen. It all flows. It all reflects each other.
We've never built for ever thinking about reselling, so we don't build cheap. Even I know when we decided to go with our air conditioning and heating system, we decided to go a little crazy there. We went with a company called Mitsubishi, which everybody's heard of because Mitsubishi's known for doing like air conditioning splits and things like that. A lot of people don't realize that Mitsubishi makes an incredible furnace air conditioning system, and it's what they call variable control. And what we mean by that is, in most houses, when you turn on your AC, it just starts running at 100%. Ours is actually variable speed. And so what happens is it watches the house, or it understands its temperature, and will just variably turn on just a little bit of speed when it needs it. So instead of dropping like a degree or two and then turn on 100% and blasting, and all of a sudden your electric starts spinning and spinning your meter, here it actually just turns on and runs just a little bit, and then will turn off at that point.
Okay.
And that's another reason why we think our electric bills are very, very low.
Right. Well, and the tankless water heating system you all have, which is very nice. So many upgrades inside. And one thing I want to talk about as well, because of where we're sitting here on the back, you have the creek right back here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of got the mountain going up the property or behind the house. But water, one thing a lot of people will ask a lot of times when they see a creek or whatever next or close to a house, they'll always ask floodplain, do I have to have flood insurance, etc. Now, you were telling me you spoke with the Kentucky
Water Management.
Yeah, there you go. About this, and you made sure that you built it in a way that there wouldn't be an issue with that.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of variables involved. Most of Adair County is a floodplain, so you have to have flood insurance. We didn't want to have flood insurance, and we didn't want to build in the floodplain. So they came out with all kinds of topographical maps and things like that, and they said, hey, if you build against this hill and you build up 3 feet, we will validate that you don't have to have flood insurance and you're not in the floodplain.
And I know you put in some drainage around the property to help with it as well. So
yeah.
Everything is good here regarding any water issues, which is great.
Kim and I we've never had good luck around water. So when we were prepping the property, we actually ran a French drain all the way around this piece of property around the house, and we ran some crisscrossing drains through it. The other thing, if you notice about the yard, it's not flat. And we didn't want it flat because we were always worried about water and water movement. So we first graded the property to have a lot of sloping, and then we waited for rain to hit, And then we watched the way water ran off the property. And so we actually changed some grading.
Right.
So there's a lot of natural movement of water on this property.
Nice, nice.
Thank you.
Well, you guys have a wonderful place here, and we're going to take the folks that are watching inside the house now so that they can see all of the custom things that y'all have done to the house.
I hope they like it. Thank you.
All right, we've had a great time here today at 3800 Chestnut Grove here in Columbia, Kentucky. We've seen the paths, trails, the creeks here at the property. We've toured the home. What a beautiful custom home that this is. Privacy around all of this here in central Kentucky. I promise you this, it doesn't get much better than this here in Kentucky. This is a property that is a gem of a place. And if you're looking for a place that is private, that is extremely unique with a custom home, tons of acreage to explore, to trail, to hunt, to take pets out on, to take family and friends out on rides. And let me tell you, I just got off the Polaris ride around the property. It was intense, but if you like that kind of stuff, it's great. You're going to love it. And then at the evening times, you can come right here at the hot tub and enjoy an evening with friends and family relaxing. My name is Matt Fouch, right here with Keller Williams Commonwealth. Thank you so much for watching this property tour. If you'd like more information or if you'd like to see this home in person, you can call or text me at 859-409-8369. Thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all.